A spokesman said, "This is the one thing we didn't want to happen."
Welcome to WatchMojoUK, and today we'll be looking at the 10 most shocking things to air on Channel 4.
Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos.
For this list, we're looking at the most astonishing things this maverick British broadcaster has gotten away with. Let us know in the comments which of these shows you watched in secret. Embarrassing Bodies. Smashing onto our screens in the 2000s, Embarrassing Bodies was one of those shows that people wanted to talk about, but didn't want to admit they were actually watching.
They're really, really painful. They're red, they're sore, they're itchy.
3 seasoned and camera-ready doctors took on the UK's most taboo medical ailments, with patients often having problems with their nether regions.
I can't go on like this. I need help. I don't want to be me.
The show aimed to get the nation talking about our health like never before, and it was arguably very successful in its mission.
You've got an active point here, so this is what we call a pustule. Basically it just means a whitehead, so you've got an area that's got active infection and inflammation in it.
But all the while, viewers begged the question, if they were too embarrassed to take their concerns to a regular doctor, why on earth were they happy to be examined on national TV? SAS Who Dares Wins.
It's very important that you, as an SAS operator, you feel the effects of what the gas does to you.
This reality show has, for years now, been teaching the British public about the training Special Forces soldiers undergo. Ordinary people, or sometimes celebrities, volunteer to go through SAS training, being continually berated by the DS, who are always furious. But some of the challenges could constitute cruel and unusual punishments, as the stars are put through tests that are actually illegal for the British Army to use against its enemies. This includes the notorious resistance to interrogation training, and also, shockingly, teaching them to resist tear gas, which they do so by locking them in a shipping container and subjecting them to it.
The reason we operate and train in a gas environment is because we have to be able to fight ourselves in that environment in case that happens to us.
Life stripped bare. Do you ever wonder if your many material possessions are doing more harm than good? Is it true that objects can't bring about true happiness?
Socks or phone?
What's going to make you the happiest?
Can't I have them both?
Well, Channel 4 put that to the test in 2016 by enlisting a group of brave participants to ditch all their possessions for 3 weeks. This included their clothes, and what we got was a programme allowing desperate people trying to get round central London in the nude.
I feel like my stuff defines me. I really want to see whether I actually need all of the things that I think I need to make me who I am.
They were spotted, catcalled, jeered, but apparently weren't dissuaded from their mission.
Heidi's second choice, her mattress.
Now I've got some friends. I'm so happy that they stopped. I honestly feel like I've got everything right now.
Thankfully, every day they were allowed one possession back, most choosing clothing. It was based on a Danish show though, so we're not too surprised. Jesus the Evidence. Channel 4 doesn't just have a mandate to unpack British attitudes to sex. Back in the 80s, it took its mission of alternative programming to what was widely considered the new extreme, airing a 3-episode series to debate the existence of Jesus Christ.
Constantine's successors, desperate to maintain unity, destroyed Christian documents which conflicted with the beliefs of the emerging Roman Church.
In the 2020s, maybe you'd be able to get away with it. After all, atheist beliefs should also be respected. But this was 1984, and people were not happy.
One eminent scholar in particular, the German David Friedrich Strauss, had become convinced that the Gospels were not written by eyewitnesses.
It was majorly controversial and attacked by the UK's evangelist organisations as it tried to investigate exactly who Jesus may have been and what truths lie within the Bible. Boys and girls alone.
Cameras were put in the bedrooms to monitor the boys at night.
What happens if you leave two groups of children, separated by gender, in a giant house unsupervised for days? Well, in the 2000s, Channel 4 wanted to find out, so it did just that, leaving the children with no adults beyond the camera crew. The crew were also told not to intervene in what kids did unless there was a genuine safety risk.
Michael was taken to task for throwing sticky popcorn all over the carpet.
In the garden!
Chaos initially reigned supreme, until the kids in both camps got a bit tired of just eating sweets and drawing on the walls, and hierarchies began to build.
The mess and lack of organisation was still bothering everyone, and there was still lots of argument about who should do what.
What do you know? It looks like children do need adults to take care of them. Brass eye.
Why can we no longer think of the British Isles without the word pedof in front of them?
Chris Morris's boundary-pushing comedy is still fresh today, more than 25 years later. But this was a case of a show being too extreme even for Channel 4, as they did everything in their power to stop it from being made, eventually preventing Morris from making any follow-ups. Morris talked about controversial topics and tricked a wide array of C-list British celebs into saying bizarre things, including claiming that cake was a drug and that an elephant was going to die after inserting its trunk into its bum.
If you show this picture to a paedophile, they'll actually try and attack it in an attempt to reach the child.
The final straw was the Pedogeddon special, mocking Britain's obsession with finding nonces around every corner.
We're after your help too. Security footage of a paedophile disguised as a school. He's been getting away with it in Sheffield for 12 years.
My massive
I was about 14. I was playing football, and then one of my mates went to my other mates and just went, "Have you seen? That thing is despicable."
Even modern audiences are still shocked by the things that make it onto our television screens through Channel 4. This one-off show explored the world of men with members of above average size, sometimes significantly, and how it affected their lives.
It's about 9.5 now, and I'm 5'6", that's 66 inches.
We found out that it's not the gift many believe, and can sometimes ruin entire relationships when partners can't see past the appendage. One man even considers drastic reduction surgery in the hope that it will improve his life, and they share horrific stories of their friends taking pictures and videos of them without their permission and then sharing them around. And, of course, there was plenty of explicit imagery.
Why not make an art piece out of it, a sculpture? Let's do something fun.
Darren Brown plays Russian roulette live.
Tonight I shall play Russian roulette live in this barn behind me. One gun, one bullet, and every intention of being alive at the end of the show.
It's one thing to show people naked, it's another to make us believe someone might actually get shot in the head and killed on live television.
To load the weapon, take a cartridge. This one is a dummy cartridge, okay? It has a red end. The ones that we will use on the day will not be painted red.
Darren Brown is a seasoned magician and mentalist, so deep down, you knew nobody would really get hurt, but it was still an absolutely shocking thing to witness. Obviously nobody did die, and local police later tried to debunk the whole thing by saying Brown was firing blanks.
Place the gun on the table for me. All right.
Brown himself pointed out that a blank is still a cartridge, and would still cause a lot of damage, potentially even lethal damage, if he pointed it right at his head. The secret to survival? Maths, supposedly. Mums make Channel 4 has made many documentaries and shows exploring the adult film industry, including this series that got a group of normal mums to try their hand at creating an explicit film.
The problem, isn't it, Anita, is it's so easy to access. I mean, for everybody. It's like you can just click on your computer and all sorts of stuff comes up.
They were all concerned with what material their kids were able to easily access online. And Channel 4 wanted to show that the industry can produce ethical films that prioritise the performer's well-being, are educational about real bodies and safe sex, and are still titillating.
So my first reaction when I heard about this was, oh, this is all a bit of a gimmick. My second reaction, actually, as a parent was, this is actually a really interesting move.
We can't show much footage, and one of the mums actually quit during the process, but audiences up and down the country still cringed with embarrassment while watching.
The issue here is that it's so easily accessible by underage people, and that's an issue that I as a parent had.
My dead body.
A few years ago, we received an extra special donor. She was a young lady who had suffered from a very rare type of cancer.
This is another one that YouTube won't let us show you any footage of. In late 2022, Channel 4 aired this groundbreaking film showing the full autopsy of a young woman named Toni Cruz.
In life, she gave special consent for us to use her body for anatomical examination and public display, including consent for images.
It's not the first autopsy to be shown on British TV. Gunther von Hagens had that covered back in the early 2000s. But it was a landmark in that it foregrounded the donor herself. Toni had terminal cancer and tragically passed away at the age of 30, but waived her right to anonymity in death and donated her body to science for the first time in British history.
In speaking to her family, who were incredibly supportive, we decided to trace the journey of cancer and to teach a wide range of students.
It was all arranged by her family in accordance with her selfless last wishes.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojoUK and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.